Hi guys, welcome to Brains and the Beat. If you're new here, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're oldie but goodie, thank you for staying tuned to your girl. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, giving you guys some updates. And the first one we're going to be talking about is Shantae Sykes' burial. And then the next one we're going to be talking about is the another girl from Hanover that was raped and killed. The 5 men held in connection with that was released. We're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to talk about the 2% of NIDS loan that the PNP party used. So let's get, and the last one we're going to be talking about is the whole rogue cop situation. The civilian that was killed in the whole situation, autopsy came back, and I have updates for you guys. So let's get right into it. Murdered 8-year-old Shantae Sykes is to be buried on Sunday, May 19th at Meadowville Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Andrew. Shantae's decomposing body was found in her community of Sterling Castle, St. Andrew, beneath a pile of rubbish 3 weeks ago. It has not yet been asserted if she was raped, but an autopsy examination revealed that the child's hymen was broken, so she was a virgin and she was more than likely raped. I don't need an autopsy to prove that she's 8 years old. And I know a lot of people are going to say 8-year-old are out there being fast and bad, but she does not look like that type. 2 men who were taken into custody in connection with her death are still behind bars. Shantae's demise cast a pall of gloom over the nation and drew widespread condemnation from within the society. Amid it all, a 27-year-old Miguel Williams of Sterling Castle community, who was said to have been of unsound mind, was slaughtered by a 14 mob after the child's backpack was reportedly found in his humble dwelling. Shantae reportedly left for school but did not return as usual. Her parents became worried and after several anxious hours made a report to Red Hill Police. Her relatives contended that the police did not respond immediately to their report, and it was not until 5 days later that the child's body was found during a series of community searches that were eventually led by the police. During a community meeting that was called by the police following the discovery of the child's body, her mother was said to have stormed out after her parents' skills were reportedly questioned by the police. The police are now awaiting the results of DNA testing before possibly laying any charges against the suspects in the custody in relation to Shantae's murder. Honestly, I hope they do this DNA and do it fast, and also do her top autopsy properly and put whoever raped her and killed her behind bars, and put them behind bars for a very, very long time, if not forever. They don't need to be in society at all. May this little girl rest in peace comes the 19th, but use her as an example. Parents, please protect your kids. Know that this world is cold and no one is looking out for your kids anymore. Look out for them yourselves. 5 men held in connection with the child's murder are released. The 5 men who were held in connection with the recent murder of 11-year-old Trisha Morris of Woodland in Hanover have all been released. 4 of the men were set free on Wednesday because there was no evidence connecting them to the crime. The other man was released last week. Trisha, who attended Waterford Hill Primary School in the parish, went missing on the evening of Saturday, April 27, after she left home to attend a function at Woodland Seventh-day Adventist Church. Reports are that when Morris failed to return home, family and police launched a search. The body of the child was found 4 days later in a section of the community known as Pond. And this is sad that I'm talking about back-to-back kids that have been murdered and killed in Jamaica, but that's the reality we live in, and that's what we have to deal with now. We see all these things happening. We need justice, okay? We need these cases to be closed and dealt with. And I don't mean closed and dealt with by just throwing somebody under the bus, using somebody as a scapegoat because they're getting condemnation and this is all over the news. I need them to do their jobs properly. Make sure they have hard physical evidence, DNA and fingerprints and all of that. Like, it's about time we step up and step in to protect our kids and actually do something, because this is getting out of control. Out of freaking control. The next one we're going to be talking about is the money that they used up for NIDS. And it says, though declaring that the contract that Jamaica government signed with PBS Solution for the provisions of hardware and software for its national identity project was not fully executed, Cabinet is exploring whether the state is in danger of liability if it scraps the deal. The government has so far spent $1.36 million on its ambitious National Identification System initiative that is to be financed by an Inter-American Development Bank loan valued at $68 million, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said in Parliament on Tuesday. The amount represents 2% of a loan amount, 20% of which is designated for the core build-out of NIDS. Amid heated crosstalk between members of both sides of the House, Representative Holness provided answers to questions tabled by Julian Robinson, Member of Parliament for South East St. Anne, on April 16, seeking clarification on the government's expenditure on the court-hauled NIDS program. Last month, the Constitutional Court ruled that underpinning legislation of NIDS, the National Identification Registration Act, was null and void without effect because it breaches privacy rights. The unanimous decision was announced by Chief Justice Brian Sykes. And if you guys don't know, Brian Sykes is also somebody that is responsible for our Vice Cartel's appeal. Just to throw that out there. Halfway through his presentation, Holness was drawn to respond to an off-mic statement from the opposition member, triggering a tense response. Do you want to know how much your government administration spent on NIDS and never even brought a bill to this house? Do you want to know? I would have advised you not to say a word. I would advise you not to even raise the matter, said Holness. Holness told Parliament that no money was spent on hiring advisors or permanent staff, but conceded that $17,958 had been spent on consultations, with a further US $400,970 expended on temporary project staff. Nearly $500,000 US has been spent on advertising and communications, the Prime Minister added, and the US $286,000 on the purchase of equipment and technology, he noted. However, no funds have been spent on data collection, radio, TV, online, print advertisement on NIDS running from May 8, 2018 to April 10, 2019 was US $497,000. So they have been spending a lot of money, and they're trying to throw the PNP underneath the bus and say that the PNP spent way more on NIDS than they did, so they don't even need to go there. One thing I want to know though is, why did he felt like this NIDS bill was going to go through and it was okay for him to start spending the money? Didn't he think that Jamaica's people are going to want clarification on the NIDS bill? They're not going to want all their privacy rights being invaded. He thought that it was just going to be a done deal, so he just used these people's money. I don't understand that, and I think they're definitely going to be held liable if they scrap the deal. However, let me just say this. I feel like NIDS needs to be implemented. However, the whole DNA thing is an invasion of privacy. But if you are caught doing a crime, your DNA needs to be in a DNA database. If you are caught doing a crime, your fingerprint and DNA need to be in a database. I stand with them with that, because if we had NIDS, all these children that have died, cases would have gone further. Shantae Sykes, Trisha Morris, the list goes on, okay? I stand with them. We definitely need to implement NIDS so everybody can be accounted for, okay? And also these criminals be accounted for and their DNA and fingerprints be put in a database where it's easily accessible and it can tie them to other crimes. That's just the fact of the matter. Now I'm going to insert a clip of the whole rogue cops situation where the civilian was actually killed. And this is from TVJ. All copyrights goes out to TVJ News, Television Jamaica. So let's get into the clip.
Right, I'm wrong, but my instinct tell me say something I cook up.
Michael Burrell, the father of Kevron Burrell, is livid after receiving the results of an autopsy done on his son's body. Kevron was killed after the vehicle he was driving collided with a vehicle driven by police officers during a controversial chase on Old Harbour Road in St. Catherine last month. Michael Burrell says he was at the scene and saw what happened after the collision, and so believes the autopsy results is suspicious.
Police went over to his window and shoot him. You understand me? My next son hospitalized because of gun fractures in his head. His girlfriend forehead gunshot, and yet still the autopsy, the piece of paper does show say blunt to his head and neck.
The autopsy was done at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine, and the report handed to him at the Spanish Town police station. He says with no direct mention of the bullet wounds or of them contributing to his son's death, the family doesn't believe there will be any justice for his killing.
Every day I go on my bed, I wake up with it, because I know how him dead. Me see how him dead. You understand me? It can't be like that. You understand me? The autopsy shows them take gunshot from him, you know. The autopsy shows them get gunshot and the type of gun will shoot him. But yet still it is not on the report. Multiple gunshot wound, and this is blunt to head and neck. It not tell me what caused the death. You understand me? If him neck even broke, it not show me by impact or what caused the death. You understand me? I would really like this thing come over with.
He says he has been contacting the authorities, including Indicom, but says he has not been given any definitive answers except that the investigation is still ongoing.
Now, I want justice. You understand me? And Jamaica people not for wait. This not for use this as a stepping stone. Don't wait until it comes to your child. You know what I mean? Yeah, because this is coming like a heights of corruption. You understand me? And I can't believe the Minister of Security, the Police Commissioner, and the government to hide this. This is not right. Nobody come to me. None of them are here on the news or anything, say anything about Kevron Burrell. This poor youth will come from foreign to his family death, funeral, and then was murdered along the way. And nobody is just like, them want to just jump over the hurdle. No, me need answers.
The family is now calling on human rights bodies for assistance. He's also considering an independent autopsy, as he insists that that's the only way the family will get closure.
So basically what this man is saying is that they doctored up the autopsy and said that he died from blunt force trauma. If you guys don't know what blunt force trauma is, it's impact that can happen from a car crash, that happen from you falling, that there's a bunch of things that can happen that can cause blunt force trauma. And I completely agree when he said they're doctoring this autopsy up and they're trying to cover their butt. Shout out to him for seeking answers. Do not give up on your son, because your son deserves justice. We are watching. We are paying attention. Don't believe that you're alone in this, because we are paying attention, close attention, as to how they are handling this whole situation, from Indicom all the way back to the commissioner, police commissioner, all the way back to the security minister. This is showing how corrupt Jamaica's system is, from the highest of the high to the lowest of the low. And then say, once the head of the stream dirty, the bottom dirty too. And that's just what it is. It's sad, but it's the truth. And this is the life and the government and the society we live in. And big up to him for seeking justice for his son. Continue to fight. Continue to fight for your son. We are paying attention, and it's not going unnoticed. And rest in peace to him. I hope his son have a great burial, but continue to fight for your son. Don't let him die in vain, like so many others have died in vain. People in my family have died in vain with this whole rogue cop situation. You are not alone. We see exactly what is going on. In my family situation, we couldn't get any justice, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because I want justice for other people. Do not wait until stuff like this happens to your family for you to speak about it and stand up and say something. Do not, because then it's going to be too late. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.